I'm Chef Cutting, and I'm here to share with you an amazing recipe that we have here today. This is our Chinese fortune cookies, and these fortune cookies are using a traditional Chinese recipe that I'm going to share with you today. And then we're going to do the fun stuff of baking it and then putting the awesome recipe, the awesome fortune inside the cookie. So let's get started sharing with you right now the ingredients for your batter. The first thing is 2 egg whites. I separated the egg yolks from the egg whites. However, you can buy egg whites in the store, but I don't suggest it because egg whites that are done the way I just showed you are going to peak better when you blend them. Then we have our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We have 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. We have 3 tablespoons of canola oil. We have 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. We have 1.5 teaspoons of cornstarch right here. I have a dash of salt. We have 1/2 cup of sugar, and we have 3 teaspoons of water. We're going to take this all and blend it together. Very important you follow how I blend this. I'm going to get a whip, stainless steel bowl. You could also use a blender or a burr mixer, the blending wands. Any of those will do. But let's go ahead and get our batter started. Also, make sure your oven is preheated to 300 degrees. So if you haven't done that, go do it now. Okay? All right, so let's get started, and we're going to go ahead and start blending our batter. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my egg whites and put those in there like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my vanilla extract and put that in there. And take my almond extract and put that in there. And then I'm going to take my oil and I'm going to put that in there. And at this time I'm going to go ahead and start to blend it. So I'm going to use either my burr mixer or a whisk. Okay, now I'm going to start to blend this until the egg whites start to get nice and frothy. Okay, and as you can see right now, it has now become very frothy. So now we're ready to add the rest of our ingredients. Make sure that the whole consistency of the batter is frothy and you don't see any liquid at the bottom, okay? Okay, now the very important thing here is to make sure that this is not stiff, so it just still needs to be liquidy. You just don't want to see any clear liquid on the bottom, okay? Now the next step is going to be that we're going to go ahead and add our flour. We're going to go ahead and add the cornstarch. Then the sugar. And then the water. And we'll go ahead and start blending that in together until we make the batter. Just like so. Okay, now as you can see, the batter has now become very pliable. There's no lumps. Everything is dissolved quite nicely. We are now ready to move on to the oven. I'll just show you real quickly here. You see how it folds and ribbons on the batter? That's a perfect indication you did it right. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to cook our fortune cookies. Okay, now my suggestion here is, I have here my cooking sheet. My suggestion here is that you do 2 at a time until you get used to folding the cookies, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to take some pan release here and just grease the pan. You can take a little paper towel with some oil and grease the pan too, but you absolutely have to grease the pan. Then I'm going to take a tablespoon. I'm going to take a tablespoon with my batter here, and I'm just going to put 2 equal tablespoons onto each cookie. So there's one right there, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again with another one here. So I have plenty of room to maneuver and be able to pick the cookies up off the pan, because that's very, very important. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to just put a little more in there because I lost a little residue there. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next step is for us to spread this batter out just a little so we have a bigger cookie, and you can use the back of the spoon. Okay, we have our full circles here. Now what we're ready to do is go ahead and put this in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. The important thing is to make sure that you're watching the outside of the cookie. So we don't want to see more than, say, a half an inch in start to get brown. The rest of it needs to be nice and pale color. You really don't want to see anything less than golden brown around the edges. It shouldn't be that noticeable, because when you fold the cookie, you want it all to look pretty much the same color. So you'll see what I mean when I pull it out the oven. So let's go ahead and put this in the oven. Okay, I'm putting the cookies in the oven now, and we'll pull these out between 10 and 12 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the final stages. You're going to need a spatula to pull your cookies off the pan, and a couple of bowls when you start off with just making 2 cookies. And then when you start making more cookies, then you can start getting things like a muffet pan when you start getting used to it. And what do you need these for? Well, once you take the cookie off and you put the fortune inside the cookie, you're going to need something to bend it on. So we're going to bend it over the side of the bowl here, and then you're going to put it inside the bowl so it keeps its shape. You're going to do that for about 2 to 3 minutes, because you're only going to have about 2 to 3 minutes to cook the cookies properly and also put them together. We're going to go ahead and put the fortunes and get those ready to go, and then we're going to go ahead and pull our cookies out right now. Okay, I have my fortunes ready, and some fortunes that you could possibly use to maybe put in your cookies could be "Let's Rock the Cradle" in 2014, or "Celebrate Women's Freedom to Vote," or "Don't Let the Bow Break and the Cradle Fall," "Support a National Park for Harriet Tubman," and so on. Whichever way you feel you'd like to put in your future fortune cookies for your future fortunes, just type them up and have them ready at this stage so that you're not running around trying to figure it out. You only have 1 or 2 minutes to fold these cookies. All right, let's get working. All right, folks, here you go. Now this is about 10 minutes, and you can see they're already browner than they should be. But we'll go ahead and use these right now. All right, here are the cookies. We have a very limited amount of time, so let's get working. We're going to take the cookie like this with the spatula and just wheel them off the pan like that. They're going to be very hot, so be very, very careful with your fingers. Have your fortune ready. Fold. Whew, those are hot. Fold the cookies over like this and touch them like that, almost like a taco. Bend them over the bowl like so, keeping the ends together so that they cook together. And then, as I said, put them in the bowl to hold them. I'll do one more with you. Now remember, this one may start getting too cold, so you've really got to work very quickly and keep the heat on them as much as you can. And your fingers are going to get used to this real quick. Bend it over, like so, keeping the fortune cookies lids closed, and then put them in the bowl. And it's just that simple, folks. Once you get the folding down, you can start doing it a lot quicker and maybe have 4 on, or maybe 6, but start off with 2. All right, we'll go back to the cookies in about 5 minutes, and I'll show you our finished product. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're ready to have a look at our wonderful looking fortune cookies, and what a beautiful job we did. Here's one right here. I'm going to go ahead and take it right out of the bowl. It's nice and hard. And there you have it, folks. A beautiful, authentic fortune cookie supporting the cause of the suffragette movement. And when you give this cookie to someone and they open it up and they see one of those messages or any of the other messages you would like to put in there, they're certainly going to ask you how you did it. I'm Chef Cutting from the Suffrage Cooking School. Here is your fortune cookie. Bon appetit.